Coming up on Oregon News, the whooping cough outbreak may be spreading. University police are focusing on robbery prevention, and dog park volunteers are asking for your help. All that and more coming up on Oregon News. Hello and welcome to Oregon News. I'm Jessie Price.
And I'm Kylie DeVries. Here are today's top stories. Our top story this afternoon, a 5.0 magnitude earthquake has caused Hawaii's Kilauea volcano to erupt. Nearly 1,500 people were forced to evacuate due to dangerously high levels of sulfur gas in the air. Residents described the eruption scene as a curtain of fire. Kilauea has erupted in the past, and scientists say they have no way of reporting how long this eruption will continue. As of now, there are no immediate reports of injury, but county, state, and federal officials are issuing warnings to residents that they should prepare to evacuate as well. We'll keep you updated as this story develops. A dozen students at Sheldon High School have been diagnosed with whooping cough, and Lane County public health officials are calling it an outbreak. The Eugene School District is not allowing students to come back to school unless they show proof of immunization or have been treated. The vaccines for whooping cough, otherwise known as DTaP and Tdap, are 70 to 85% effective. Dr. Patrick Ludke explains the benefits of receiving these shots.
The vaccination, even though it isn't a perfect vaccine, is really the best way to be protected. And if you haven't had your Tdap vaccine, get it now, because you're at risk once it's in the community, and unfortunately, it's in the community.
Other ways whooping cough can be prevented are washing your hands, covering your mouth when you sneeze or cough, and throwing away infected objects. Diseases are not the only dangers in high schools these days. There have been more than 20 threats of violence against schools in Western Oregon since the Parkland shooting in February. Eugene School District spokesperson Carrie Delph says that even before Parkland, the district was implementing new methods to diagnose and react to potential threats. She says various school shootings over the past few years have made the need to prepare clear.
We have police officers who are working in our schools every day. They know our students, they know our schools. And when there is a threat or a concern that's reported, we work with police to very quickly investigate that, to determine whether there is any credible threat to schools. And we also let families know when there has been something that's raised as a concern.
Not all potential threats can be intercepted by law enforcement, though, and for that reason, Delph also says it's important for community members to report any potential threat, even if they don't think it's credible.
Crime is up around the University of Oregon as well, but not by too much. According to Eugene police, there had been 8 robberies from January 1st to April 2nd, which is 3 more than that same period back in 2017. Armed robberies have gone down, but the main concern comes from the unarmed robberies. In 2018, there had been 4 by April 2nd. In 2017, there were 0. In total, those 3 extra robberies may not seem like a lot, but for the few people that were robbed near the university, an increase of 1 is 1 too many.
I didn't actually think it would happen to me.
Allie is a student at the University of Oregon. She withheld her last name for privacy reasons. Back in March, she was walking just 4 blocks to her home at about 12:30 in the morning when she was robbed at gunpoint.
I was just walking and on my phone, not really being alert of my surroundings. A man came out from the side of me to the left, and he held a gun to the side of my body on the side and just told me to give him what I had.
Allie said she quickly ran home and had her roommates call the cops, but the man was never caught. In response to some of these crimes, the University of Oregon Police Department has put up a few additional security cameras, and they've had a few extra security patrol officers during the evenings. There were 2 to 4 additional evening and overnight officers that patrolled from March 19th to April 14th. Now, with less crime happening in the area, the department has gone back to their usual amount of patrolling officers. The extra cameras, however, are still in place.
We really wanted to be able to have some extra observing on the areas there near campus and making sure that, if anything did happen, we'd have a better chance of identifying people involved with that.
The cameras capture some of the public street and sidewalks near campus. McIver said security cameras around campus have helped catch thieves and criminals in the past. He didn't want to disclose exactly where those cameras are located, but they're around 13th and 14th Streets, close to campus.
The cameras are only temporary, and McIver said for greater protection, people should walk in groups at night and take advantage of the rideshare systems. And the Eugene Police Department has a new chief. Chris Skinner is in his third day on the job. On his first day, Skinner said he wants his employees to treat the community members like customers, deserving of quality service. As chief, Skinner will be leading about 190 sworn officers and 140 civilian employees. Before coming to Eugene, Skinner was chief of police in Riceland, Washington. Oregonians should have received their 2018 primary ballot in the mail this week, and the race for state labor commissioner is heating up.
Val Hoyle is from Eugene and a Democrat running for the position. Hoyle served as an elected state representative from 2009 to 2016 and has served on Oregon's Federal Export Council. Lou Ogden is a Republican who is also in the running. Ogden has been the mayor of Tualatin for 24 years. Ogden also believes that his experience working in local government would help in his position. The third candidate is a Union County Commissioner, Jack Howard of LeGrand. Howard was previously a disabilities advocate and a commissioner for the largest affordable housing association in the nation. Howard has not raised any money for his campaign so far. The Labor Commission is a nonpartisan position, so it will be decided during the statewide primary elections. The deadline to get your ballot in is May 15th. The Eugene City Council is questioning whether dispensaries are located too close to each other. Lauren Rodriguez reports.
The council is debating if a buffer zone should be established between each dispensary shop. A buffer zone would mean that new marijuana retailers would have to open up their shops at least 1,000 feet away from another dispensary. Bree Haynes, general manager of Hush Dispensary, says why she supports the buffer zones.
I definitely think it should be put into place because there's a lot of dispensaries here in Eugene. The market is definitely flooded more than everywhere else in the state of Oregon, I feel like.
If council members grant the buffer zone, Eugene residents will no longer be seeing dispensaries so close to one another, such as Higher Ground Dispensary and Hush Dispensary, which are only separated by one restaurant located right behind me.
Brandon Roberts, owner of Frequent Vibrations, says why he is in favor of the buffer zones being granted.
I don't think we're helping each other by oversaturating the market, and I don't think we're helping our neighborhoods by doing so as well.
The idea for these buffer zones comes from the city of Eugene's effort to try and revive downtown without so many dispensaries in the area. Roberts also says why he thinks downtown shouldn't have many dispensaries.
I feel that oversaturating with cannabis shops is it's taking away the nostalgic feel of downtown, and you're kind of just making it weed world, you know? We kind of don't want weed world. We still want to be able to go out with our children and go out to have a nice meal downtown, sizzle pie, killer burger, whatever it may be. And we'd like to do so without seeing people smoking joints in public.
For Oregon News, I'm Lorna Rodriguez.
Just last week, a total of 50 licenses were granted at new retail marijuana shops in Eugene. Parking just got a little easier and cheaper at the Eugene Airport. The airport has a third parking lot. The cost of parking there is $10 a day, making it the cheapest parking option. The economy parking lot was designed to help solve the problem of needing additional parking. Because it is located across the street from the airport, there is a free shuttle bus that operates 24 hours a day and runs every 6 to 7 minutes. Small dogs have a new leash on life in their own park. Coming up, we will visit the Happy Hounds, and if you are looking for an escape, you have an option that you may want to consider.
Got a quarter?
Large dogs can sometimes pose as a threat for smaller dogs. That's why some small dog owners are lobbying to get a separate park for their canine friends. As Savanna reports, so far it's working out.
Here I am at Amazon All Dog Park, where large dogs, just like Bear, are allowed to run freely and play with other dogs. But unfortunately, this is the same spot where Lola passed away. Lola, An 11-pound dog was attacked from behind by a larger dog while playing at Amazon Dog Park in 2009. Lola was mauled to death in front of her owner, Renee, and her 4-year-old daughter. In response, Renee began petitioning for a dog park just for smaller dogs in Eugene.
Other dogs, such as Nunu, have the opportunity to play with dogs their own size in the Amazon Small Dog Park.
The Small Dog Park is a half-acre area created for dogs less than 25 pounds. The park includes a double-gate entry, fencing to separate the Small Dog Park from the All Dog Park, a shelter over a picnic table to provide shade and protection, a gravel pathway, and a water source with 2 kiddie pools. All of these features were completed through volunteers and donations. Volunteer Maintenance Coordinator Robin Mix says the work the volunteers have done has made an impact on small dogs and their owners.
It's been all volunteer all the way along. You know, people who have small dogs and love small dogs and want to have a safe, fun, clean place.
Volunteers have used the donated funds to mow and maintain the grass, start and complete a drainage project for the dog's water source, and created gravel paths so owners can avoid walking in mud during the winter months. Lauren Chenard, the main volunteer for the park, says the support is surprising.
I had no idea what a social nexus it would become for the community and how many hundreds of people use this site and swear by it and love it, and there's only one like it in the whole area.
But help is still needed. Volunteers pay for the park to get mowed every few weeks, trying to raise several $100s. For Oregon News, I'm Savanna Sear.
If you want to donate, you can go to smalldogpark.com.
Recycling in Eugene just got a bit more complicated. Hannah Morrow explains how consumers can be more recycle conscious.
Eugene's recycling rules have recently changed, leaving many people wondering what can and can't be recycled. Things that used to be recyclable but now are not are things like shelf-stable containers and shredded paper. Many different types of plastic used to be accepted, but now if it is not a milk jug or a clear plastic bottle, it won't be taken. Things that should be ending up in your recycling bin are things like steel and aluminum cans, cardboard egg cartons, and many different types of paper. This includes direct mail, office paper, magazines and catalogs, and newspapers and ad inserts. Corrugated cardboard, which looks like this, and chipboard are also accepted. Things that should not be ending up in your recycling container are things like this: plastic produce bags from the grocery store, produce containers, plastic packaging, bottle lids and straws, light bulbs, bottle caps, and many different types of plastic containers will not be accepted.
For those looking to recycle more, there are 2 places in Eugene offering special recycling services. St. Vinny's is recycling mattresses, appliances and propane, Aurora glass, candle wax, Dogma pet beds, electronics, wiping rags, and styrofoam. Nancy's Yogurt, realizing that their product is no longer accepted, is starting to recycle their own cups. Amy Rosen, a marketing manager for the company, speaks to this.
We decided to do something at a very grassroots level to answer the questions or to solve the problem in the interim while we wait for other solutions.
So next time, before you throw it out, think of all the different ways in which you can recycle. For Oregon News, this is Hannah Morrow.
You can drop off these items at any St. Vinny's location and can visit Springfield Creamery's Facebook page. Peace Health Hospital is expanding the care it provides for people who are not their patients. The hospital is planning to give families of those who are sick some TLC. Currently, Peace Health has one guest house in Eugene near its University District Hospital, but they noticed a flaw. While the house is convenient for families and patients at the University Branch Hospital, it is 5 miles away from the Riverbend location. The Peace Health is building a larger guest house closer to the Riverbend campus. The 24,000 square foot building will have 20 rooms. It's set to open its doors in February of 2019. The new house will be managed by Ronald McDonald House Charities. It will cost nothing for families to stay there. Sometimes ordinary life can leave people feeling trapped, But a new business in downtown Springfield is making a game out of that feeling. It's called an escape room. Take a look. As Cliff Harris cuts the ribbon in front of his new business, Golden Arrow Escape Games, the Springfield community gets a new way to have fun. After participating in other escape rooms 3 years ago, Harris was inspired to open one himself. He says the most challenging part of opening an escape room business isn't what you would expect.
Thinking of ideas for an escape room is the longest part of making an escape room, because we don't want an idea, we want the idea, the perfect idea when we're creating our games.
With just 60 minutes to escape a room, teams must work together and make strategies to find clues and codes to unlock the door in time. Harris says his escape rooms are special because they are made for anyone to enjoy.
We have puzzles ranging in all sorts of areas. We have electronic puzzles, physical puzzles, mental puzzles, mathematical puzzles. So we have puzzles for every individual.
Harris offers 2 escape games and themes ranging from a rogue botany scientist with carnivorous plants to a mystical wizard with evil powers. What makes Harris's business unique is that they offer private bookings and have costume actors in the rooms. Ryan Peasley is one of the escape room actors.
It's such a great, entertaining way to build relationships, team building, creative problem solving. It's just an all-around good experience.
To keep clues and hints a surprise, we were unable to get a full glimpse of each room. Teams can book a minimum of 3 games and prices range from $141 to $167, depending on the number of players in your group and the number of games your group wants to play. Golden Arrow is one of 3 escape rooms in the Eugene-Springfield area and the first to open in Springfield. Coming up, Lorna Parra with sports and a look at Hayward Field's last Twilight meet, the end of the softball season, and a preview of the 2018 Kentucky Derby. Back in a moment.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm Lorna Parra. While hundreds of new and seasoned runners showed up at last Sunday's Eugene Marathon, one stood out from the rest. That runner was Justin Gallegos, a University of Oregon student. Gallegos has cerebral palsy, and while running for him is nothing new, the half marathon marked a new milestone in his career because it was his first. While he did not reach his goal of being the first runner with cerebral palsy to break 2 hours in a half marathon, he came close, clocking at 2 hours and 3 minutes. With the help of Nike, Gallegos ran in prototype shoes specially designed by Nike for runners with disabilities. Gallegos is a Nike ambassador and plans to continue raising awareness for runners with disabilities. Gallegos says he also plans to keep training with the U of O Running Club to improve his time for future half marathons. The Eugene Marathon is not the last event that will take place at Hayward Field before renovation, as the Ducks will host their final Oregon Twilight at Hayward Field today. Oregon's track and field team will have their last meet to close out the regular season this afternoon in historic Hayward Field. This meet will serve as a chance for the Ducks to tweak any last-minute details before they head to the Pac-12 Championships next weekend. As a part of the last Oregon Twilight at current Hayward Field, some of Oregon's most memorable alumni will return to compete, including Devon Allen, Marcus Chambers, and Kylie King. The Ducks will be competing next weekend for the Pac-12 Championship at Stanford. The number 2 ranked Oregon softball team is hosting its last series of the season this weekend, beginning at 7 p.m. tonight.
The Utah Utes are coming into this weekend series against the Ducks with a 7-game losing streak, while the Ducks defeated the number 4 ranked Washington Huskies. But according to head coach Mike White, this is one of the most dangerous types of games to go into after a big win.
You also have to remember that Utah was right on the top half of the standings last year. They almost beat Tennessee this year.
After Oregon's win against the Huskies, the Ducks are now tied for first place in the Pac-12 with UCLA Bruins and are number 1 in the RPI this week. Despite their rankings going into this week's series, infielder Jenna Lilly says they still have much to improve on.
Those wins against those quality and top-ranked opponents definitely
I think helps our team get an idea of what we're capable of, which I still think we still have. We can still play even better than that.
The Ducks will continue their series through Sunday when they will celebrate their seniors' last game of the regular season. The Ducks will need to sweep Utah and California in next weekend's series in order to secure the Pac-12 title. The Oregon women's tennis team is set to compete in the NCAA tournament in Durham, North Carolina, May 12th. The opening match will be against the University of Tennessee. This will be the second straight season the women will be competing in the tournament. This appearance is only the 8th time in program history the team has made it to the NCAAs. The Oregon women finished 15-9 in their regular season. They went 5-5 in Pac-12 play. The Oregon men's tennis team will open the 2018 NCAA tournament next Saturday, May 12th, in Fort Worth, Texas. They will be going up against Dartmouth for the first time ever. Before heading to Texas and competing against the Ivy League school, the men will have a long week before break. But senior Cormac Crisol says the break will be a time for them to come back even stronger.
Relax, refresh our not only bodies but our minds as well. Reflect on what we did well throughout the season, what we could do better, and then come back basically this week ready to work hard, practice hard.
The Ducks hope to continue the second round to match up against the regional host, Texas Christian, on May 13th. This year's NFL draft is complete, but only 2 of Oregon's eligible alumni were drafted. The 2 players who heard their names called were Royce Freeman, who was drafted to the Denver Broncos in the 3rd round, and Tyrell Crosby, taken by the Detroit Lions in the 5th round. Other Ducks who remained undrafted were eventually signed, including long snapper Tanner Carew by the Seattle Seahawks, cornerback Arion Springs signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, and Henry Mondew went to the New Orleans Saints. The 144th Kentucky Derby will start this Saturday and end on Sunday. There are 20 horses in this year's Derby. New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski has withdrawn his horse from the race due to fever. Owner Todd Pletcher has 4 Derby entrants. Pletcher has entered in 48 times and has won twice. One of his horses is currently the reigning championship. Always Dreaming won last year. Amazon, the company, has a horse entered in this year's competition named Audible. So far, the favorite is a 3-year-old named Justify, with odds of 3-1. Well, that's a wrap for the sports desk. Time to check in on the weather. Hey, Lauren, should fans bring rain jacket to Twilight's meet?
Doesn't look like we'll be seeing much of the sun come out this weekend, but we'll definitely still be feeling the warm weather. Today, we're looking at a high of 69 and lows in the 40s, with a light wind coming in from the northwest. Saturday, you can bring out your sundresses and your rain boots, with a high of 72 during the day and a low of 49, with a 20% chance of rain. Sunday, we'll have a slight chance of showers with a high of 70, so make sure to bring out your umbrella and your sunscreen. Looks like we're going to have about the same weather in Portland, so if you're looking to bask in the sun, this isn't the weekend for that. Today is going to be partly sunny with a high of 70 and a low of 52, with some wind coming in from the north, so don't forget your jackets. Tomorrow, the clouds are coming out to stay with a high of 73 and a low in the mid-50s, with a 20% chance of showers. The weather is going to keep it consistent for us on Sunday, with mostly clouds and a high in the mid-70s and a low of 54 with a slight chance of rain as we head into the evening. And moving over to Bend, expect to see a little bit of sunshine today with a high of 75, and as we move into the night, we're going to have a low of 47 with some wind coming in from the northwest. But tomorrow, you want to stay in the house all day because we're going to have a chance of thunderstorms with a high of 74 and a low of 7. And looks like it's going to be a lazy Sunday as we still expect to see some thunderstorms and a 40% chance of rain with a high of 69 and a low of 43. If you're headed west to Woodburn to celebrate the Cinco de Mayo festival this weekend, expect some sun with a high of 68 and a low of 50 tonight. As we move into Saturday and Sunday, keep your sunglasses at home and wear your rain jackets because we're going to have all clouds the rest of the weekend, with highs in the 50s and lows in the 50s, with the chance of showers. That's it for weather this week. Now back to Jessie at the news desk.
'Tis the season for allergies and proms. We'll talk about both when we return.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
The sun keeps threatening to make its way back to Eugene, and you know what that means. Allergy season is upon us.
The sun has made its way back to Eugene.
Dry, warm weather may be a nice change for some, but for many, it means congestion, runny noses, and puffy eyes. There are a lot of allergy sufferers in Eugene. They say if you live here long enough, you'll develop seasonal sniffles. For those people, health officials suggest staying inside, dusting often, and cleaning air filters frequently. Pollen counts in Eugene are expected to stay in the medium to high range throughout the rest of the week.
It's also prom season, and that means young men and women have to find appropriate clothing, and that can be expensive. But as Riley Collin reports, a caring community is helping with that problem.
With prom right around the corner, it just got easier for high school students to get their hand on a prom dress for free.
For the first time, a diner and venue called Along Came Trudy, located in Springfield, opened their doors last Saturday to an event called Once Upon a Prom. This event was open to students in need of attire for prom, including dresses, tuxes, accessories, and shoes donated from the community, remaining free of charge. Volunteer and event coordinator of Once Upon a Prom, named Alice Harless, expresses her appreciation for this new opening.
I want to do a shout out to Along Came Trudy in Springfield. That's where we're holding the event, and she has donated it to us, which was very generous because, you know, the dresses are donated, and it's just a community coming together. So we really are thankful.
For the past 5 years, Junction City has held this event for the Eugene area and has finally expanded its locations. Along Came Trudy plans to host Once Upon a Prom every year and believes it has gained significant access to more students and more high schoolers surrounding the area. A senior from Cottage Grove, Michaela Smith, expresses her gratitude for events like these.
Just looking for a prom dress. It's not like it's super affordable to go out and get them for a one-time event these days, and I really think these events are helpful to just kind of get you a prom dress and you can feel nice and fancy for the one night.
You can drop those off at My Little Children, and My Little Children has 2 locations. One is on 1622 Coburg Road in Eugene, and the other one is 2839 Willamette Street. And you can drop all those donations off all year round, and they are accepted.
Reporting for Oregon News, I'm Riley Collin.
If you have some prom necessities that are of no longer use to you, visit local My Little Children's to donate.
In other Oregon news, if you've been to the coast lately, you may have noticed something slimy washing up on the sand. For the second year in a row, waters off the Oregon coast are experiencing a mysterious infestation. These tube-like creatures are called pyrosomes. They usually live in warm waters, but in the past few months, tens of thousands have infested waters off the Oregon coast and littered beaches. They are translucent and can range in size from less than an inch to a foot or more. Once ashore, they dry up, leaving trails that can stretch miles on some of the Oregon beaches. Scientists suspect the pyrosome invasion is a result of increased global temperatures. If water temperatures continue to increase, they say the infestations will return.
For Oregon drivers, a new license plate option has been guaranteed. The plates were designed and sold by Oregon State University's Marine Mammal Institute. The plates will feature an image of a gray whale mother and her calf along the Oregon coast, and with a lighthouse in the background, it will read Coastal Playground on the bottom. The Marine Mammal Institute has sold 3,500 vouchers. In order for the license plate to be approved, they had to reach the 3,000 mark, and now the Oregon DMV will begin the plate production process. The vouchers sold for $40 online. 35 of those dollars will be funding research, graduate education, and public outreach programs within the OSU Marine Mammal Institute. Whales travel from Mexico to the Arctic, passing the Oregon coast during their migration. The plates will not be available until the beginning of 2019.
That's all for Oregon News today. We'll be back on Monday with Oregon updates.
And please join us next Friday when Oregon News returns. Have a great weekend.
Okay, they finally cut it. I could see that.